Hello everyone, this is Ron from High Tech Legion, and this is part of our review of the Arctic Equipment K481 Wireless Keyboard. And we are going to test the wireless range right now. I am in my living room, and here beside me is the Arctic K481. I have the dongle here in my hand. Of course, we're going to, I figure why test it on an HTPC? We know it works in a PC, but it would be much more interesting if we could test it on non-PC devices. I have here a Nintendo Wii, and let's go ahead and switch to that. Here we go. And of course, there is, for those who are familiar with the Wii, it uses this controller, which is a sensor, and it's easy enough using it as kind of like a mouse. But if you need to type a message, for example, it's a bit hard to type, see, with the on-screen keyboard. So I have here the Arctic Equipment K481 USB dongle. Let's attach it to the back of the Wii. USB port is at the back of the Wii. There's two USB ports there. One, of course, you can use for a network, and one for our Arctic K481 keyboard to test. And let's turn it on, of course. And there we go. Make sure our num lock is off so we can type. And I have marked my floor here. I've measured it in feet. The maximum range is 10 meters, as stated on the specifications. But I'm not sure if that is the maximum range, effective range, or sort of is the maximum optimal range. So what we'll do is I will move back. 10 meters is what? 10 meters is 32.8 feet. I've actually used feet as a measurement because, well, my tape measure doesn't have meters on it. So I've marked 16, every 16 feet. So 16 times 2 is 32 feet. So 32.2, you should see my symbol there. And then I have an additional 8 feet of room to the back, and that is the maximum that I could test the range of the Arctic K481 within my house. So I'm already in the kitchen by then, so let's test it right now. I am going to move back 16 feet from the receiver, and I'm going to start typing. It might be hard to hear me once I reach farther. This is 16 feet away. Alright, as you can see, it's flawless, it works. There's no obstructions at all. Moved the chairs out so the signal is not interrupted. Now I'm going to move back to 32 feet, which is just under the maximum feet, 32.8 or 30. Actually, let me just move to 38 feet, just so we test the maximum range, which is 10 meters. So move back. Turn on the num lock. See, at this point, the signal is a bit, it still works. As you can see, it is a maximum range, although it is not the optimal range, of course. And I'm going to move back farther to the maximum, which is 40 feet total. Gotta turn off the num lock. As you can see, it is still receiving signal even at 40 feet. At around 33 feet, 10 meters away, it was it was a bit, it was dropping some signal, but then there's some items that I couldn't move out, like the staircase is a bit on the way of the signal, so that might be interrupting it, but it's not so fairly good because, well, to be honest, I don't think you're ever going to use it farther than that anyway, than 10 meters. So typical, for example, this scenario right here, this is a 52-inch TV, and I normally sit there just under the 16 feet part, just a few, actually a lot closer. I sit a lot closer than that to TV, so just a few meters away from TV, and as long as the signal is clear. So I'm going to sit here on the couch and just start typing away. Of course, it is quite small, so it's hard to type with two hands actually, especially with somebody like me who has wide hands. But it works perfectly, and as I stated, the only drawback, the only thing you can't use is the touchpad, since the Wii only responds to the sensor, to the wireless sensor, and the use of the Wii controller. So that is fairly good range. So that means the 10 meters is actually, that means the maximum. They mean the maximum optimal range, not the maximum range, because after 40 feet, rather, the 10 meter, when I moved to 40 feet, which is more than 10 meters, it was still responding, although it wasn't accepting every single command. For example, the space wasn't coming in entirely, but as you have seen, it works perfectly, not just as an HTPC keyboard, but also compatible with your Nintendo Wii, provided of course you have the latest firmware. And thanks for watching. Let's go back to the rest of the review to hightechlegion.com, or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/hightechlegion to see the rest of our reviews.